Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I just got back from the Newport Harbor Orchid sale in Westminster Mall here in Southern California, and I had a fantastic time. It's the very first sale of the year, so I was really excited to go and see what's available and to see all the vendors again. This is my second year of attending this actual sale, so it was really great to, kind of be nostalgic about my very first orchid show. And with some of these prices, I couldn't resist buying as many orchids as I did. I definitely bought twice as many orchids as I was supposed to, but that is the life of an orchid hobbyist, as you guys know. So I'm really happy with my purchases, to be honest, and for the price that I got them, they're spectacular. The vendors that I got to see at the show were, some of the great ones out here in California. I got to see our friends from Sunset Valley Orchids. I got some orchids from Cal Orchids. They're a great nursery out here in California. I also got to see, Andy from Andy's Orchids. So it was a great show. Lots of really beautiful specimens to see. And I'm happy to share with you guys. I got lots of footage of different exhibits and galleries, and of course the vendors, so you guys can go ahead and do some nosing around, see what we got here on the West Coast and our prices and everything. And so I just want to say it was a great show. I had a really great time, and let's go ahead and get started. And now these two orchids are the reason that I went over my allotted budget for this orchid show today. I was only supposed to get the 2, but I ended up with 4 because of these guys. And so, you know, at $15 a pop, they were a steal. I was on my way to the Sunset Valley Orchids table when I was passing by the Cal Orchids table. These are both Cal orchids, and so I couldn't help but look over at the price. It was looking like, you know, very affordable. I was wondering what it was, and it happened to be these 2 nighttime bloomers. Now, this Angraecum leonis is still an immature plant. It's still a little, a few years away from blooming size, while this Aerangis mysticidii is a mature size. It should be ready to bloom any season now, so it's ready to go. This is about how big it'll get, and they're really beautiful plants. They're both super striking to me, like very beautiful monopodial type of night bloomers, and I do love the fact that these are actually in the same branch of orchid species, if I'm not mistaken. Like the Aerangis and the Angraecums are actually within the same branch, and so they're both nighttime bloomers, like I said, and they're both monopodial, but like to me that's as far as the similarities go. Like the leaves are just so different. It's so funny. This is the flat broadleaf, you know, with this cute little spading on the ends of each leaf tip. You know, it's a very striking leaf with like modeling on the foliage here. It's such a beautiful pattern, and it couldn't be more different than the Angraecum, which has these like flat but like thick, turgid, you know, kind of succulent style leaves. It's so funny to me that these are in the same family. But there you go, like 2 very striking plants, 2 very affordable plants that I had to add to my collection, and I'm really excited about. I really am curious to see how they bloom for me and how they will do in my care, though I am worried about this Aerangis mysticidii. I did see that in the culture, the Aerangis does like a higher humidity, around like 70%, but my home only really gets about 50 to 60%. So I am a little bit worried that it will have a hard time adapting to my environment, I guess, because of this. I am curious if anybody has an Aerangis mysticidii, please let me know in the comments below if the ambient humidity really affects your plant, or if it's a more hardy type of plant that can, you know, still bloom at 50 to 60% humidity. I would really like to know. But either way, I still love the way these plants look. They're such a cute little couple here, you know, sitting next to each other. I plan to keep them together in this little grouping. It's quite appealing to me. So I just wanted to go ahead and introduce these 2 little guys, and let's go ahead and get my Sunset Valley orchids introduced. Alright, so these 2 are my purchases from Sunset Valley Orchids, and I couldn't be more thrilled. They are fantastic. This one on the right, this big beauty, is actually one that I'm really excited to say that I have. Carlos has really come through 2 days before the show today. I emailed him about this. I was shocked that he got it in time and was able to set it aside for me. This is the Iwanagara Appleblossom Lemon Pie. So Eris, my original yellow Iwanagara Appleblossom, Golden Elf variety, came down with a really bad systematic like infection of scale, and so no matter how much I tried, I couldn't get rid of it. And that the aggressive bug treatment, along with the change and move to the new house in this environment, really was not great for that plant. And so she kicked the bucket, and I was really, really sad to lose her. She was one of my favorite cattleyas. She was really vigorous. I was so sad to see her go. And so I was wanting to replace her with another yellow colored apple blossom, and so I was talking to my friend Peter, who told me that the Sunset Valley orchid the nursery had just done their cattleya divisions, and so they had some Appleblossom divisions for sale. And so Carlos was kind enough to go ahead and grab me one and bring it to the show for me. So Carlos, thank you so much. You are the best. I really appreciate it so much. I was so happy to get her. If you couldn't tell from all my yay hoorays, I'm super happy to have this plant in my care. And not only because I finally have a yellow apple blossom again, but also because look at this, I have blooms on the way. She is in bud right now. Oh, I'm so excited. So I am not going to repot her. She is in a bark and perlite mix, it looks like, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave her in the bark because she is budding right now. Normally, no matter what orchid, no matter what state my orchid is in, I will always repot all of my orchids, all of my new purchased orchids anyways. I'll do a repot right away to make sure, that the root systems are doing okay, that they don't have any pests, and I'll put them right into but unfortunately, just because this is an apple blossom and I love my apple blossoms, I'm so excited to see how this one looks. I'm really, really curious. I'm gonna go ahead and let her bloom. I'm gonna wait for the blooms to kind of start fading before I go ahead and snip and repot her, because I really want to see. I really, really am so excited to see. I love the way apple blossoms look, so I'm really excited to see how this one does. So that is my Iwanagara apple blossom lemon pie. As you can see, she was $35, and to me, for the size of this plant and how established she is, that is a great deal. I have never had any issues with any of my orchids from Sunset Valley Orchids, regardless of who I bought it from, whether it was Ruben, whether it was from the nursery, or whether it was from Peter. Their plants are usually incredibly healthy. They have great root systems, never any pests as far as I have seen. Like, they are really healthy orchids. So I am glad to say I have no concerns about leaving this one in her medium for now. So I'm happy to go ahead and do that, though I will, keep her separate just for sake of quarantine of new orchids. But and the second one here on the left, let's go ahead and get this one introduced, is a sweet little beauty. As you can see, a mature orchid in bloom, and oh my goodness, do I love these blooms. I really, really do. They are such a beautiful shape. I love the pure white bloom with that little dramatic throat of the lip, and that little tinge of pink here right on the end of the sepals. Like, they're just so pretty. And this one is such an interesting cross one that I've never seen before. This is a Dialaelia Snowflake crossed with Brassavola Little Stars. So a very interesting cross that is really kind of I guess interesting in that I'm not sure. I would say this is definitely more of like a Dialaelia style plant, like with the big bulbs. The leaves do take on that like Brassavola shape a little bit in that they're so narrow and long, but they are still flat. They're still the flat leaf cattleya type of leaves. But the flowers themselves, I want to say, definitely look more like a Dialaelia. They have a really beautiful white color, but the shape also is Dialaelia. And I guess I want to say the only thing that would be a takeaway from the Brassavola is perhaps that little bit of speckling. I'm not sure if a Dialaelia usually has that, but that might be from the Brassavola. But she definitely has a fragrance. That is something that I noticed when I purchased her. She did have a slight, very light fragrance coming from her. Now, I'm not sure if this will be a nighttime fragrant or daytime fragrant plant. I guess I'll just have to wait and see. I do have one more bud here. I'm still waiting to bloom, so I am really excited to see how she does. She is such a cute plant. Oh, I am absolutely in love with her. She is so pretty. Like, what a cute little compact little cattleya type, right? I've never had a Dialaelia before. I've seen them, and I do love the shape of the flowers. It is to me very reminiscent of like an apple blossom, actually, to be honest.
It reminds me really of an apple blossom, but this would be like a miniature version because apple blossoms are much bigger. So this one's, you know, very tiny. So I am curious how this one is going to compare to this one. Now that I have the footage of this, I'm curious to see how the apple blossom shapes will compare. But I do want to say it is just like a little miniature apple blossom, like such a beautiful little flower. I quite like it. So there we go. That is my orchid haul here from the Newport Harbor Orchid Sale at Westminster Mall this year, 2019. I had a great time, and I was really excited to buy these orchids and add them to my collection and do this introduction to you guys. I hope this inspires you to get some more orchids of your own, or perhaps to attend the next orchid expo or sale that's in your area. They're really fun to go to. They usually have some great prices, as you guys saw, like, you know, like $35 for this, you know, huge apple blossom, $15, you know, for a full-sized Aerangis, you know, great prices. So, you know, if you guys ever get the opportunity, definitely go check it out. Go ahead and support your local orchid society. If you guys live here in the United States, if you guys have access to an orchid society. But otherwise, I hope you guys show the plants you guys have the love they need to grow for you. And you guys have a great day.